It's time for another John Solo adventure. Today, we're headed to Swope Park in Kansas City, Missouri to check out the Kansas City Zoo for 2025. I haven't been to the zoo in almost 20 years, so this will be a very new experience for me, as well as a trip down memory lane. I have so much to talk to you guys about and so much to share. Let's get started. We have made it here to the Kansas City Zoo. Much different than it was back the last time I came. They have built a new entrance. They have an aquarium on site. We'll be able to check out all of that as we go into the zoo. And like I was saying, I worked at the Kansas City Zoo in 1990 through 1993. I worked at the concession stand. Well, not at the concession stand. I worked selling train tickets at the zoo. And it was a much different place when I worked here. But let's go ahead, get inside. It's a hot day, but it's a pretty busy day. So let's go ahead, get our tickets, get inside, and I will see you guys soon. So upon coming in, you have a nice gift shop to your left. It looks like we have some polar bears over here to the right. I'll try and see if I can get a good shot. We'll walk this way and see if we can see a polar bear.
There, we can't really see them right now.
Looks like the polar bear is up sleeping. I don't know that we have a good view. I go toward the tigers and the orangutans. At the orangutan canopy. Got the little orangutan out here with the big orangutan. Let's go see. You can see it kind of down in the corner. There you go. There he goes. Now, back in the 80s, this area used to be the big cats area. This would be where you would go to see your lions, your tigers. The orangutans were kept in the ape house, and that was up the hill behind me. This whole area, it looks like they saved most of the enclosures, but they have just changed the animals that were in those enclosures. Come around and see if we can't catch the orangutan down here. There goes another shot of them. Let me see. You can kind of see them over there. Not very active, but they are in there. The orangutans' names are Jill and Barani. Barani is the younger of the two. Jill was born in 1976, Barani in 1999. These are the lion-tailed macaws.
He sleeps out here. Oh, he sleeps. Tigers.
Well, a tiger is kind of fat.
Like I mentioned before, this area used to be where they housed all of the lions and tigers. It was called the Great Catwalk, and you can see it was dedicated on May 27th of 1972. We are about to head into Australia, see if we can see some kangaroos, maybe sheeps, dingoes, see what's down there. I love these signs. They tell you how far things are from here in Kansas City in kilometers. So I'm gonna test your math to see if you know. But as you can tell, quite a ways away from anywhere that these animals live. There are the birds. Oh, there goes a good shot. There we go. More.
Kind of looks like Kevin from Apple.
Here are the emus.
That's cool. I didn't know they laid big green eggs.
Got a dingo resting up in his little house, staying cool. It's supposed to get up to 90 degrees today. Kangaroos are way over. Hopefully you guys can see them. I think when we wrap around, we'll get a better view. Here's a better shot of the kangaroos sitting in the shade, making sure not to get too hot. Got a lot of visitors out today. Here are all the different kangaroos and wallabies. Now we are headed to the sheep station. Now this area used to be the dairy barn area, but now it is where the sheep reside. You can see them over, again relaxing in the shade, making sure not to get too hot. We are now taking our exit away from Australia. While we're walking up this way, tell you guys a story. We'll be looking at a camel. When my youngest daughter was 2, as a matter of fact, it was her 2nd birthday. We got a train coming overhead. Train. So we had a train going over. I didn't want to talk. On my daughter's 3rd birthday, we decided to bring all of the kids out to the zoo. There was a big group of us, right? So we were, they had just built Africa around that time. And
Not interested right now?
when they built Africa, they had these warthogs down in a pit. My wife at the time thought that it would be a good idea to take her BlackBerry phone and hang it over the rail, kind of like this. When she did that, she dropped the phone down where the warthog was. Now, needless to say, the warthog enjoyed the phone, but it didn't happen immediately. The warthog was down there sleeping. She turned to me and asked me to jump down into the pit with a wild animal and get the phone. I said no. There was a young guy that was with us who decided to jump in. As soon as he jumped down and his feet hit the ground, then the warthog woke up, came over to the phone and ate the phone. And that pretty much ended our day. And that was the last time I came to the zoo. I had thought that trips to the zoo were cursed for my family, like something bad always would happen. So I have not been back since. So I'm looking forward to getting over there, seeing if that warthog is still around. Now, to take a ride on that train, it's going to cost you $9. When I worked here, it was only $1.25. Then it went up to $1.50. By the time I left, it was $1.75. Times have changed, but in order to get to other areas of the park, the train is one of the best ways to get that done. We probably won't see everything today because this zoo is humongous. We're gonna walk and see if we can catch this waterfowl.
Wow. Really trying to fly away. Look how orange his feet are.
They created a camel feeding deck. They have an animal chat here at 1:30, but you can pay and feed the camels. They'll come right up and eat from your hand. There he goes. That llama just there, moving that mouth. I'll tell you now, if ever that mouth moves and they get to pointing at you, you might want to move out of the way. We got the alligator over here in Alligator Alley. And right now it's just one. The other one went into the water, so we missed that one. But we are up at the top of the hill. This used to be the area. This used to be the area where they had moved the Discovery Barn to. There was a hill on the other side, and on that other side of the hill was one of the places where I sold train tickets years ago. But now we have a stingray barn, which we will definitely go check out. And I believe we're heading toward the new aquarium that they built. So we'll have some footage of that as well. Another quick little story that leads into that whole lore of me thinking that we are cursed, right, when it comes to the zoo. We were at the St. Louis Zoo, and the St. Louis Zoo had a stingray encounter much like this one. Me and my wife at the time were there, and apparently she was allergic to the shellfish or something in the stingray exhibit, and all over her arms and legs she swole up, got very plump. We had to actually call the medics at the zoo they gave her a shot, and that shot was like kind of like taking Benadryl, and the swelling was able to go down. But of course, at that point, the trip to the zoo was over and we ended up leaving. So it just fed into the lore of do not go to the zoo. There goes the stingrays. Got some swimming. One just went by. You can pet them. I am just taking pictures today, so I did not go over to the wash station. But they are very sanitary and have a wash station for you to wash your arms all the way up to the elbow. And then you are able to use 2 fingers, as you can see, and pet them as they swim by. And stingrays are very social creatures. They actually come by for you to run your fingers across them. Here's one coming up now. Look at them. Wow, they're coming to get some attention.
They have an obstacle course.
There is the Oda.
Pretty cool. That's cool. So these next people can look.
Now, if you're an animal like me, this is the most important sign in the entire zoo. Now it looks like we're going into the Hillsburg Penguin Plaza. This is all new. You can see, I don't know if you can, they're all in the holes. Again, it's a hot day, might be cooler in there. But that's where they are all. Here's some penguins.
Jumping up out of the water.
You can actually see them swim and jump in and out of the water.
What are you doing?
Yeah, let's keep going. I just want 4. It's 2.
It's just like nice and dark down there.
You can really get them swimming. Look at that. Now, this is the other side of the hill that I was telling you about. Right down at the junction where you see all of the people going toward the aquarium, there used to be a train ticket booth, right where you see the stop signal. And I was stationed in that booth and I sold train tickets. Now, there was a time that on this road that is going by, where you see the security guard on the golf cart, I was sitting in my booth right here, and I saw an orangutan run right past my booth. And then I saw men on golf carts chasing the orangutan, who had figured out how to time when they turned off the electric fence to feed the orangutans, and she jumped out and got loose. Another story I'll tell you. One morning I was coming with my cash, because it was back then it was all cash, there wasn't cards. I came to put my cash into my booth. You can see the platform right there where it used to sit. And I put my cash in, and when I put my cash in, a snake came down and looked just like that at my face. It was wrapped around the rafters of the booth that I was in. I had to call somebody to come and get the snake out so that I can get in there and sell my train tickets for the day. True zoo stories. I would never lie to you. Now, coming up this hill, this building that is labeled the Tropics Building is a very historic building. for the Kansas City Zoo. And I'll explain to you why. When the zoo first opened in 1918, all of the animals that were in the zoo were housed in this building. This building used to be the Kansas City Zoo when it first opened. And they had all of their animals in here. And once they bought land and expanded out, this became the reptile house where they kept all the snakes. But this was the first location of the Kansas City Zoo. And here goes some history. View from the 1900s. The original zoo building in 1909, transformed into the tropics, opened 100 years later. This was the view in the 1940s, and that's what the building looked like back in 1925. Look at the birds. Do some walking around, see if we can see anything in here. Does not appear so. Come around. Let's see. Here's a gibbon. The male is black, and the female is the gold color. There they go. Here's a crested screamer. And then we have the white-faced sucking monkey. Hey, little guy. Look how long his tail is. Got blue monkeys. Probably can't see because of that glare. Now let's go check out the aquarium. I'm just gonna let this roll. Lots and lots of fish. More fish swimming. See if we can catch another tank. Yes. This is a nice addition to the Kansas City Zoo.
Whoa, what's up with that? Did you just see that?
This is the Pacific coral reef. Man, I spent so much of my life, 3-4 summers, working right on the other side of the tracks, selling train tickets. They used to have a stop right here, and this was called the Safari stop. And across where the aquarium is now used to be the Safari Boutique. Okay, looks like we're gonna go and take a look at the elephants, and I'm running pretty short on time at this point, so I will say that we are going to have to do a part 2 where we spend the entire day in the African section of the zoo. It is so far away that there are trams that you need to take to get there. You can walk, but walking will take you quite a bit of time. So just for the sake of time, I'm going to capture these elephants and then we will head out for the day. Elephants talk in many different ways. There we go.
Oh, look!
Look out, we got a tree.
Look at her.
You're reaching way up there.
Another tree. Well, where did she get it?
Pretty darn cool. So thank you for coming along with me on part 1 of the Kansas City Zoo. We will be back to do the other half of the zoo pretty soon. I have another adventure or 2 planned in between, but we will get it done very soon. If you like this content, please like, subscribe, and share. And remember, you're never too old for your next adventure.